And New York Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis joins us now. Congresswoman, thank you so much for being here. I want to dig into this with you. What are your concerns about the current budget plan right now? I know you have mentioned that you don't want to see cuts in Medicaid. What are your concerns, and have you received any clarity on those concerns?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm 100% aligned with President Trump on this. He has indicated that he does not want to see Medicaid cuts to beneficiaries. We do, however, want to go after waste, fraud, and abuse in the program. And at the same time, the president also wants to see a resolution that allows for enough leeway to cover the tax cuts that are a priority to him and me as well, particularly reducing taxes for our seniors, reinstating or increasing the SALT deduction, making sure we're repatriating manufacturing, no tax on tips. The resolution, I don't see how we can accomplish both those things as it is, particularly with the last-minute amendment they put in that called for an additional $500 billion in cuts or savings in order to allow for the president's tax agenda to be fully implemented. And so I just want clarity on how we're going to achieve that. And in the $2 trillion overall that they want to cut, where does Medicaid actually fit in there? Because the number for the energy and commerce, which includes healthcare space, is about $880 billion. And so if we're able to take more of that from the energy space, maybe through deregulation and some other initiatives, then that could address some of my concerns. But we also need to be taking into account these DOGE savings. That should be included in that overall number, so we don't have to dig in further in Medicaid than we already are.
Okay. Well, I want to dig into some of the president's executive actions this week, in particular one that hits close to home for you. This is one of his actions, not executive, but the Department of Transportation moved to end New York City's controversial congestion pricing plan. Governor Kathy Hochul is vowing to fight this in court. Is it the president's place to step in here?
Absolutely. This was a congestion pricing scheme created by the state legislature. However, it did need federal approval. And Joe Biden's administration gave them that federal approval, rubber stamping the program without even requiring a full and thorough environmental impact statement, which is required by federal law. It is a first-in-the-nation program. To say that there is a finding of no significant impact without doing a study is ludicrous. The president is in his right to reverse the prior administration's decision, and I'm glad he did so. And why did he do it? Because he, as a New Yorker, understands that this was a cash grab that hurt working people, that it hurt our first responders, nurses, people have to work odd hours and have to need a safe way to get into Manhattan in the middle of the night, and people have to go for their health care appointments. And this would hurt New York City's economy overall. And he gets that as a New Yorker, and I'm glad that he reversed it.
So finally, another big issue in the Big Apple, a judge declining the DOJ request to dismiss the corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Instead, the judge delayed the trial indefinitely and appointed an outside lawyer to present arguments on why the case should be thrown out. Where do you see this case going against Adams, and do you think that Hochul should have stepped in the way that she did?
Yeah, this is something I have not ever seen before. It is very unprecedented here. In fact, a governor has never removed a sitting mayor in New York City. And this is kind of one of these things where the governor was, instead of allowing the election to take place, which is going to be this November and letting the people decide, the governor was trying to influence the situation. We'll see what happens in court here. I think it's interesting that they appointed an outside attorney to come in and make the arguments on behalf of the DOJ to see if they should dismiss this case. But the reality is that we have an election coming up this year. Let's allow the people to choose who the next mayor is. I don't think it will be Mayor Adams. I don't think that he will even run again, or he certainly wouldn't win if he ran again. But the people should be the ones deciding. This is another example of Kathy Hochul ignoring the will of the people and trying to influence the situation. She's done this before. Public referendums, when the people say they don't want certain voting laws changed, like same-day voter registration and no excuse absentee ballot, trying to gerrymander our districts to influence the election. This is just another example of Kathy Hochul not listening to the people of New York.
You also have now Mayor Adams trying to claw back the $80 million that was given to the city from the federal government to help with migrant shelters. President Trump took that money back. Now Adams is trying to claw back at it. What do you make of that quickly here, Congresswoman?
President Trump is protecting the taxpayers. I've been fighting for a long time to stop the funding of these migrant shelters in the city of New York. They have spent billions of dollars to house individuals in our country illegally, people who have been committing crimes, actual gang members have been living in these shelters. They get arrested, they get released back onto the street because of Kathy Hochul's radical bail law, and then they go back to this shelter, which the taxpayers are paying for. It is ludicrous, and President Trump is correct to claw back this money. New York City was not entitled to this money. This was something that was worked out with Joe Biden that hurt the people of our city, of our country, and I'm glad that we're seeing action to remove these dangerous individuals who have committed terrible crimes, from assaulting our police officers, even shooting at police officers. But there's been murder, there's been stabbings, there was a woman set on fire in the train station, all sorts of heinous crimes that have been taking place in our city, and we should not be using our taxpayer money to give them a free stay at a luxury hotel room.
Well, all eyes on New York City, all eyes also on Capitol Hill as we see if your colleagues can come together here and pass a bill either through the House or Senate and figure out where to make cuts, if not Medicaid and entitlements. Congresswoman Nicole Malliotakis, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.